Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. So glad you're here today. Now today I've got some product here from Simon Hurley and Ranger. It's in the Spellbinder shop and we've got a snowman and a penguin. We've got a reindeer and Santa. We've got some gifts, a bell. We have some sentiments. Sending warm hugs, you melt my heart. Have a nice day. You're on the nice list. You slayed this year. Oh dear. Christmas is here. And fa la, and you could do fa la la. We've got cookies and bells and presents, and I've got the coordinating die set here, and it die cuts out everything but the sentiments, and those are just straight line sentiments, so I think you'll be okay in cutting those out, but I'm just pointing out you've got a die for the heart, the candy cane, the cookie, the plate of cookies, and the bell. So what we're going to do is one of my favorite hacks I've done for a long time. And I'm just going to pull the backer sheet off of this, and we're going to leave the stamps on the front sheet. Now this came joined together, these two pieces, and I love that because I like to keep the front and the back together, but I tore it off so that I could do my little trick here. So what I do is I just lay all of my stamps down on my cardstock, and I'm going to bring in some packing tape. And I'm basically just going to pull some tape off, roll it up, and stick it on the carrier sheet. For this, as large as it is, I'm going to do two pieces. And we're just going to keep all of the stamps on their carrier sheet. This, when I want to stamp the whole set, this is how I do it, because then I don't have to pull each individual stamp off and set them down and line them up and then put them back on the cover sheet and everything. I can just leave them all on the cover sheet, ink them all up, press them all at once, and then take the tape off, clean the stamps, and put them away. Very quick hack. And I've done this for, quite some time, a couple years anyway. So I'm using Memento Black ink because I plan to alcohol color, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to heat emboss them. I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss them. I like to do that when I'm coloring. It just helps me stay in the lines and kind of gives you a little bit of border and helps you out with that. I will get out of the lines a little bit, but it'll be fine. So I'm going to bring in some Ranger clear embossing powder and just dump it all on there. And I'm going to cover these things 2, 3, maybe 4 times and make sure I get good coverage because we've got a lot on this panel and I don't have a lot of powder there. It's a pretty full jar, but this is a big area to cover. So I'm just going to keep dumping and kind of spreading it all over the paper, just making sure everything gets covered really well. And then we'll bring in the heat tool and we'll heat emboss. And I'll tell you, I made a mess with this. Got it all over my glass mat. So we'll get it cleaned up and put away, and then we'll be able to heat it up. So I've got my heat tool primed and ready to go, and we're just going to lay some heat on this, and we're going to bring these images to life. And that black will just get nice and shiny, and which I think is perfect for a penguin. You know, they have such shiny black skin anyway. So we'll get all of our sentiments and everything embossed, and we are going to make 2 cards. We're going to make 2 5x7 cards. These are some big images. They're good size. So you could do, use an A2 if you wanted to make 4 cards, but for today's purpose, I only wanted to make 2. And so I'm going to bring in the 5x7s and do that. So the snowman is actually 3 3/4 tall. And it's about 3 inches wide as well. And so that is the largest one. And then Santa's about 3 1/4 by about 3 inches as well. So these are some pretty good size sentiments. So you'll know that, or stamps, I'm sorry. So you'll understand why I chose to do 5x7 cards for 2 of the images on there. Now, of course, I sped the coloring up because it does take a long time, and I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm just laying color down on there. I'm barely doing blending. I'll do a little bit of blending as far as shadows on the whites, and then we'll add a little bit of blending to the deer. But for the most part, I'm just laying color down. I'm not really getting too detailed on it. As you guys know, I'm not, I don't profess to be a colorist, but I do have fun with it, and so that's what we're going to do here and just lay down some color. We did the 2-tone blue on the frosty or the snowman, and then, we're going to do red on the reindeer and the Santa. And I basically am planning to pair Santa and the reindeer together, and then the penguin, the snowman, and the packages and the cookies together. And then I think we'll even put the candy cane on with the reindeer and that. And I don't think I wind up using the bell. I had originally thought I would put it in Santa's hand, but I wind up not doing that. So I'm just going to continue with all of my coloring and get this finished up, and then we'll do some die cutting. Now you may be thinking, how are you going to die cut this stuff out when you have everything so closely together? And I'm going to show you how I can do it. And I'll tell you what I did was, prior to doing this, I laid my dies on my stamp to see if I would be able to cut out my big images first, and could I make everything fit without getting into anything else. And I was able to, so that's, you know, a way that you can check. So I just laid all my dies on my stamps on the carrier sheet and made sure it was going to fit. So what we'll do is we'll die cut out all the big images first, and then we'll come back in and get the little images, and that's how we'll be able to fit all of our dies on there nice and neat without messing anything up. So I'm just getting some darker brown on the antlers for the reindeer, and then we'll finish it up. This is where I add a little bit of shading on the reindeer. I do just a tiny little bit of shading on these cards, not really a lot. And so we're just kind of getting a little bit of dimension to the reindeer. And kind of going back over the coloring just to fill in any blotchiness or anything that I've got. And I think they're super cute elements. Simon Hurley, whatever, it just seems like whatever he comes out with is super, super fun and cute. And I think this is too. They're simple characters, but I think they're really fun. So just coloring in the white now. Basically, I'm bringing in just a cool tone gray and just filling in, kind of adding some dimension, and making some shadows on my white, just so we have a little bit of color there, and it just kind of helps it to pop a little bit. And then I'm going to color in Santa's face, and I'm going to fool around with a couple different colors until I find something that I'm satisfied and can blend out. And so there we have it. And then we're going to put some pink on the reindeer's ears, and I was struggling getting a color that I liked, so I used 3 different ones and just kind of blended them together to kind of get a color that was not too pink. And I think that pretty much finishes up all of our coloring. Oh, I forgot to color the plate that the cookies were on. Now you'll see here, I'll mess this up when I die cut it out, so I'll go ahead and do a second one. Because when I die cut the big images out, I do put tape on there to ensure they don't move. This is the Empress, and it does have a magnet plate, and the magnet is holding them in place. But I have noticed that sometimes they'll shift in there, and so I add tape, some washi tape on the big elements that I die cut out, and then I get lazy when I go to get the small bits and pieces, and I don't tape them down, and my plate of cookies does shift, and so that's when off camera I'll just create another one and die cut it out. But for the big images, I've done the work. I don't want them to shift and not be able to use one of my characters, so I'm using this washi tape and just putting some tape on there so they don't shift. And I did bring in that great big Empress plate. I mean, it's huge. So I've got all of my little pieces here. I'm just pulling them off and the tape off and everything. And aren't they cute? I think they're super cute. I really love the penguin and the snowman. Actually, they're all cute, but I don't know. I just think the snowman is super cute. I just like the little expression on his face. Anyway, so we've got all those. Now we're going to, I'm going to put those big plates up. I can use the smaller plates on this here. The reason why I brought the big one in is I was worried about the top of the hat and like the bottom of Santa and the bottom of the reindeer if I used this plate, because it would just be right on the edge. And so I'm cleaning up some of the red. I don't know if you noticed when I was coloring with the red, they're brand new markers and they're super, super juicy. They're the Copic, my new Copics. And the red just kind of poured out of that candy cane. And so I took my white gel pen and just cleaned it up. Now here I'm just cutting these down a little bit so I can put them more toward the middle of the plate and not on the edge. That way I don't have to worry about it not cutting well. And then we're just getting all the dies laid down. And you'll notice I don't tape these down. And everything cuts out beautifully except for the cookies. And for some reason they moved when I ran it through the die cutting machine, and I messed it up. Now here I'm going to touch a little dot of the red that I needed on there. And we'll just run these through, and then we're going to have all of our elements, and we can start building a couple of really cute 5x7 cards. So you can see there the cookie. I don't know if you can see it because I've kind of got it sped up, but the cookie, you can see the white along the bottom of the plate of the cookies, and you can see it just kind of cut the top of the cookies off. So we've got all of our bits and pieces. Aren't they cute? I'm just showing you all of them. Super cute. We're going to get them out of the way, and we're going to work on our card base. So I've got a couple of embossing folders. I've got Nordic Noel, and I've got, I think, Holiday Flurry are the two, and they're fairly new embossing folders of the month. I think they're club kits, and I'm going to use them because I wanted a snowy scene, and they both have snowflakes on them. One is all snowflakes, and then the other one, this first one, is snowflakes and branches. And I've got the wrong plate set up here, so I'm just getting all my plates in there. We're going to run it through. These are not 3D embossing folders. They're just embossing folders. So you don't get as much print on them, but you still get great texture. It's beautiful. Love it. And then I'm going to use the Nordic one and get it embossed as well. And I just ran it front and back. Just give it a couple good presses, and we'll get good dimension on those panels, and we are good to go. So I've got my 5x7 card base. I just used 120 pound Nina Solar White card base, and I'm going to get my panel laid down on there. And we've got a couple of other layers that we're going to bring in. We're going to bring in that emerald die from Spellbinders to get that shape that we're going to lay down there. And I was surprised that it does fit nicely on a 5x7. I was trying some of my other dies, and I couldn't find one that I thought would fit nice on the 5x7. So this is the Emerald Cut Labels, and I have used the largest one for the blue, and then a smaller one for the vellum. And I'm just putting some tape runner on there, and I'm gonna get it adhered to my Emerald Cut blue panel and just give them a good press. And that's going to be our basis for our little our little people. So I'm going to get some foam tape and pop this up. We're going to put Santa and the reindeer on this. My chair is squeaky, so I apologize for that. And so I'm just going to pop this up and lay it down on our embossed panel, and we're going to have the landing zone for our focal points. So today they're continuing, just a little story time here. They are continuing to work on our kitchen, but man, it is really, the timeline, it's gone really fast. They're doing backsplash today and getting it in, and they're on it. I mean, their time frame is really great. I've just been impressed. So they're moving right along. I think they're going to probably have all of the backsplash up today, and then tomorrow they'll probably come in and do the grouting and everything. But it has just moved along fabulously, and I'm so excited. So I took the Documenting Labels die set, and I grabbed the tag out of there because I thought it would be fun to have a tag for our sentiments, because I just straight line cut them. And so I'm going to lay them down on this tag and use it. I'm kind of eyeballing this candy cane for this. I won't wind up using it here. I think I use it on the other card later. I'm going to bring in some twine, and I've got a piece of twine and a piece of ribbon that I'm going to cut to size, and we're going to just put it on our tag. And I thought it would be fun to have it. I don't use tags on my cards very often, and I've been wanting to do it, so I thought this would be an opportunity here. And it would kind of help with just, since we just have a couple of straight line sentiments, I thought it would just help it to, add some interest and make them, just make them look more interesting. So that's what we're going to do, and then we put them on the diagonal. And then that'll fill in some space above our reindeer's head. So we're just going to get Santa glued down on there, and then I think we'll pop up the reindeer just to add a little bit of dimension, and then we'll be able to kind of tuck our tag back in behind the reindeer. And it's coming together, super cute. Trim those tags down a little bit more, and that way they're not kind of covering up my reindeer, because he's so cute. We got to show him on here. And I'll get my foam tape laid down on there. And I get plenty of foam tape on here. He's not going to sag because I make sure I cover all the areas. Anyway, so last night, back to the kitchen remodel, after they left, I spent some time, and I had bought some new liners to put in all the drawers and all the cabinets and all of that. And I cut them, measured them, and got them all put down, and then started putting things back up. And as I was looking at my spices, oh my gosh, I had so many and outdated things. This is our card. I think it looks super cute. We're going to come back in and put some embellishment on it later, but we're going to move on to the next card. And for this one, I thought I've got just a plain, because I don't do 5x7s very often, I don't really have very many 5x7 dies. And so I just cut one to size that I wanted to use. And I thought, well, it's kind of plain. So we're going to bring in some white ink, and I'm going to water it down, and we're going to just do a little bit of splattering. You'll see a little bit of it on the card, but our images cover a lot of it up. But I just thought it would add a little extra detail. So I'm just going to squeeze some white, add some water, and then we'll just do a little bit of splattering. And just have a little snow flurry scene looking going on there. And it'll be really subtle, but it was just an extra element that I thought would be fun to add to it. So anyway, I wound up throwing out just a whole bunch of spices that were outdated, that I don't know. I had far too many. I had duplicates of a lot of things that I thought I didn't have, and I probably bought another one of or whatever. And so I got rid of anything that was expired, and really got rid of quite a bit. And I also went through my pots and my pans and all of that. And when I had too much of something, I was getting rid of that too. And so I really pared things down. I had several pans that were the same size, and I'm like, I'm never going to need two of these that are the exact same size when I have these other options. And so I cleared all of that out as well. And I guess this kitchen remodel has just got me on a binge, just cleaning and streamlining and just getting rid of things that are duplicate and not necessary. So I'm feeling really good about, kind of really starting from scratch and just freshening up and just, I guess, just decluttering, I guess is what I mean. So, all right, so we're going to lay our snowman and our penguin on our card. Now, I will move them around because I've got the extra bits and pieces. We've got the present, the cookies, and all that. And I've got my sentiments here. I'm thinking You Melt My Heart, Sending Warm Hugs. I think those two go together. I wanted to use a couple of the sentiments, and so we're going to pair those. We've got our gift that we've colored up, and we've got our cookies. And this is how we're going to kind of land with it. And I will wind up adding the candy cane to Frosty's hand, and we'll have that on there. I think I'd do that off camera. But we're going to get all this laid down. You can see I've got, 4 more sentiments that I could have chosen from that I have available from this set. Now, I do have another set of Simon's that is in the shop as well, and I'll be working with it upcoming, and it's called Ho Ho Ho. So I'll be working with that set probably, maybe yet this week or next, and it'll be fun. So I'm going to get the cookies in there, and this is the little heart. And I thought we have to have the heart on there because it says You Melt My Heart, and I wanted to put it on the penguin, so I just laid it down on there. And we're going to get our sentiment, You Melt My Heart, and Sending Warm Hugs glued down. And I think it's going to be super fun. So here I'm coming back in with my embellishments, And I'm just going to add several to this scene here and kind of make them look like snow, shiny little snowflakes that are coming down, and just add it to the panel so that we'll have some shine. I just think it's a cute little card. Super, super cute. And then while I'm at it, we'll go ahead and put some down on our snowman and our little reindeer, and I'll just put 3 of them down on there. And we'll add a little bit of sparkle to it. And that'll pretty much finish off our cards. So I hope you like them. I think they're super fun. Let me know in the comment box below which one you liked the most. And I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.